Danny. So today I'm going to answer a question of one of my viewers, and they are saying, what temperature during day and night is in your balcony? How does the cattleyas, orchids, oncidiums, and phaleonopsis share the same temperature? Well, okay, I have a few tricks here actually, but I'm going to start with the beginning. Now, first of all, I don't have any orchids that do not fit into the edges of my temperature range. So I don't have any orchids that will not tolerate anything below 20 degrees, nor do I have any orchids that will not tolerate anything above 20 degrees, like maybe masdevallias and some other species. All I have are widely available orchids and some species which I think will do best in my environment. And luckily for us, there are quite a few varieties available that will do okay in a comfortable environment, which is a lower temperature of 15 degrees and the highest temperature of about 28 or 29 degrees. Now, there are a few which don't do so well in these extremes, so here are my tricks. Phaleonopsis orchids tend to be the easiest ones, so I kind of abuse them. Well, I don't abuse them, but I don't really, and I'm not really paying so much attention to what they actually need, because they can tolerate low temperatures as well as high temperatures, and they seem to do just fine. And also, they don't like to have too much bright light, or it's just not necessary. So I can place them wherever in my balcony and they will do just fine. I have them up here, and in winter time temperatures stay the same for everybody, but it is in their range. But the higher they are, the warmer the temperature gets. So that's okay for them. Also, they don't receive too much light, so they do pretty well hanged up there, but also below here. So with Phaleonopsis orchids, I don't really care where I place them. They seem to do just fine as long as sun doesn't burn them. So yeah, Phaleonopsis is okay for about any environment you want to keep them in, as long as it's not pitch black and it's not super bright as direct sun. Cattleya orchids tend to need a lot more light, so I have them here in this corner, which receives eastern light as much as southern light. So logically, the more sun they receive, the higher the temperature they receive. So even in the winter, I have slightly a higher temperature in this corner where I have the Cattleya orchids, simply because it receives more sun. And this is how I manage in the summertime as well. They can tolerate higher temperatures, and being in a very bright location and warm location is just right for them. On the opposite end, I have the Miltoniopsis orchids, which share the same balcony, but not the same location. Now this corner, in winter, it receives a bit of light, a bit of sunlight, but in the summertime, it does not. The sun does not come here, it goes lower. And the temperature tends to be lower for that reason. Also, I use a humidifier, and because I have an ultrasonic humidifier with cold mist, I can actually lower the temperature right in this corner. I position the humidifier somewhere above them and a fan to blow the mist, and actually the temperature in this particular corner with orchids that do require slightly lower temperatures in summer doesn't really go above 26 or 27 degrees Celsius in the summertime, in the hottest months of the summertime. Now in the same balcony, I have multiple temperatures simply because I don't have humidifiers all around. But this particular corner is a lot cooler than any other place in my balcony. In the winter time, I don't really hassle because the temperatures are pretty low, and at this hour I have 20 degrees, yeah, which is okay for most of my orchids. As I told you, I have a segment of temperature which everybody can tolerate and everybody can share. Vanda orchids are the ones that are closest to my glass here, and this is because I want them to receive as much sunlight as possible, even direct sunlight. Now obviously this creates a higher temperature during summertime, which is perfectly fine for them. And it's weird because right the opposite side has a temperature difference of about 6 degrees Celsius in the summer, or even more. So this is how I managed to have a different temperature here and here. Humidifier and also letting the sun shine. Now Paphiopedilums in the summertime I think will go in the cooler spot there, along with the Phaleonopsis, because they don't really need that much light and they do like cooler temperature, and also humidity will help them a lot. So even though I keep them here for the winter, where temperature is basically almost the same everywhere, in the summertime, which is the biggest hassle for me, they will go alongside the Phaleonopsis. And in this place, actually, I will have the oncidium. Now, oncidiums are kind of like phaleonopsis. They're pretty tolerant, but they do require a lot more light. Now, this lower bench, let's call it, receives direct sunlight, while this one above doesn't. So I can place orchids like phaleonopsis or anything else that can tolerate higher temperatures, but they cannot tolerate direct sun up above, and lower I can go with the oncidiums, and they can actually receive even higher temperatures, but not much of a difference, but direct sunlight. Now, under the bench in the summertime, I usually keep the dendrobium orchids, the noble dendrobium orchids, which can handle quite a bit of high temperatures, and also they love direct sun. And in the summertime, the sun really hits this spot pretty well. So this is where I usually keep them in the summertime. In the wintertime, it doesn't really matter. I just move them up to get more direct sunlight. But in the summertime, I can create the space for the orchids that do require a lot of sun, and they can tolerate higher temperatures. And this actual spot is hotter than this one because it doesn't receive quite as much direct sunlight, and obviously a lot hotter than this side, which does not receive direct sunlight. Okay, hopefully I answered your question. And regarding to the temperatures, I'll give you my extremes. In the summertime, I can have 19 or 20 degrees at night, and it varies. Here I have 26 degrees, but over there I can go up to 30 degrees Celsius maybe, and the plants can tolerate it. And in the winter time, I don't really mind because I'm in the range where everybody can handle the temperatures. In the nighttime, I go to 17 degrees Celsius, and in the daytime to 23 degrees Celsius. And yeah, this is how I keep multiple orchids in the same balcony, adjusting temperature accordingly to their needs, simply by positioning them in a corner that receives more direct sunlight or less direct sunlight. Also, I extend on the vertical plan, and the higher I keep the orchids, the warmer the air is. Now, phaleonopsis orchids, I really abuse them, but they handle it pretty well. So I guess with phaleonopsis, it doesn't really matter where you place them, as long as you don't cook them. So, okay, thanks for the question. Hopefully I answered your question. And if you have any other questions, guys, you can leave me a comment, and I will answer you in a video. Okay, if you want to see other videos, you can just subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.